Hey everyone, and welcome back to Walk Through the Word. I'm thrilled you're joining me today for a slightly different kind of episode. Please click that subscribe button and click the notification bell so that our videos can reach more viewers. Usually, we delve into a single book of the Bible, but this time, we're tackling two, the books of Numbers and Deuteronomy. Now, you might be thinking, Numbers and Deuteronomy together? That's a lot. And you're right. These are substantial books, packed with laws, stories, and pivotal moments in Israel's journey. But I believe putting them side by side will give us a richer understanding of this crucial period as the Israelites transition from wandering in the wilderness to preparing to enter the Promised Land. If you feel like anything we go over needs more context, or you are still unsure about something, please feel free to comment and I will clear it up for you. Think of it like this. Numbers largely chronicles the journey, the trials, the rebellions, the census-taking, the organization of the tribes as they trekked through the desert for 40 long years. It's a testament to God's patience and Israel's persistent struggles. Deuteronomy, on the other hand, is more like a series of farewell addresses for Moses. Standing on the eastern banks of the Jordan River, within sight of the land God promised their ancestors, Moses recounts their journey, reiterates God's laws, and passionately urges the new generation to remain faithful. It's a book of remembrance, exhortation, and renewed covenant. So, let's dive into Numbers first. What are some of the key takeaways from this book? Well, the very name Numbers comes from the two censuses taken of the people. One at the beginning of their wanderings and another nearly 40 years later, just before they're about to enter Canaan. These aren't just dry lists of names. They highlight the immense growth of the Israelite community despite the hardships they faced. But Numbers isn't just about counting heads. It vividly portrays the challenges of life in the wilderness. We see the constant murmuring and complaining against Moses and God, the lack of faith that leads to their prolonged wandering, and the consequences of disobedience. Think of the story of the spies sent to scout out the Promised Land. 12 return, but only Joshua and Caleb bring back a positive report, filled with faith in God's ability to deliver. The other 10 spread fear and doubt, leading the people to rebel against God's plan. This incident is pivotal. Because of their lack of faith, that entire generation, with the exception of Joshua and Caleb, was barred from entering the Promised Land. They would spend the next 4 decades wandering until a new generation arose. It's a stark reminder of the cost of unbelief and the importance of trusting God's promises, even when circumstances look daunting. We also see God's unwavering provision in Numbers, the manna from heaven, the water from the rock, the guidance of the pillar of cloud by day and fire by night. Despite Israel's repeated failures, God remains faithful to his covenant and continues to provide for their needs. It's a powerful illustration of God's grace and long-suffering. Now, as we transition into Deuteronomy, the tone shifts somewhat. 40 years have passed. The generation that left Egypt has largely died out, and a new generation stands ready to inherit the promise. Deuteronomy, which literally means second law or repeated law, is essentially Moses' final sermon to this new generation. Moses, knowing he will not cross the Jordan, passionately recounts their journey from Egypt to their current location. He reminds them of God's faithfulness, their past failures, and the importance of wholehearted obedience to God's commands as they enter this new land. Deuteronomy isn't just a dry repetition of the laws given earlier in the Pentateuch. It's presented in a way that emphasizes the spirit of the law, the love for God that should motivate their obedience. Moses urges them to love the Lord their God with all their heart, soul, and strength. This call to wholehearted devotion is central to Deuteronomy's message. We see in Deuteronomy a strong emphasis on covenant renewal. Moses calls the people to reaffirm their commitment to the covenant God made with their ancestors. He lays out the blessings of obedience and the curses of disobedience with stark clarity, urging them to choose life by loving and obeying God. Think about some of the key themes in Deuteronomy. The importance of remembering God's past faithfulness, the call to radical obedience motivated by love, the danger of idolatry and turning away from God, and the promise of future blessing if they remain faithful. It's a powerful and moving appeal from a leader who has guided them through decades of hardship. Deuteronomy also contains some profound theological insights. We see further development of the concept of the Shema. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one inch, Deuteronomy 6 verse 4, which became a central tenet of Jewish faith. It underscores the absolute uniqueness and sovereignty of God. Furthermore, Deuteronomy looks forward to the future. It contains prophecies about the coming Messiah, hinting at a future leader who will be like Moses but greater. Deuteronomy 18 verses 15 to 19. This anticipation of a future deliverer adds another layer of significance to Moses' final words. So, what can we learn from studying Numbers and Deuteronomy together? Firstly, we see the incredible patience and faithfulness of God despite human failings. Israel's journey was marked by rebellion and doubt, yet God never abandoned his covenant promises. Secondly, we are reminded of the importance of faith and obedience. The generation that lacked faith missed out on the promised land. Deuteronomy emphasizes that true obedience flows from a heart that loves God and remembers his goodness. Finally, these books highlight the significance of remembering our past. Just as Moses urged the new generation to remember their journey and God's provision, we too should reflect on God's faithfulness in our own lives. Remembering strengthens our faith and motivates us to remain steadfast. Combining Numbers and Deuteronomy in this episode allows us to see the full arc of this pivotal period, the struggles in the wilderness and the powerful call to faithful living on the threshold of God's promises. It's a reminder that our journey of faith, like Israel's, will have its challenges, but God's faithfulness endures, and the call to love and obey him remains constant. I hope this overview has been helpful as you continue your own walk through the Word. What resonates most with you from these two books? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you found this episode insightful, please like and subscribe for more Bible summaries in the future. And yes, there will be more combined book episodes coming your way. Until next time, keep walking in the Word.